I just tried Royal Caribbean's new immersive dining experience, the Royal Railway, and this is my honest review. Hey everyone, what's up? This is Jordan from JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for clicking into the video today. Jared and I have spent 7 wonderful nights aboard the second largest cruise ship in the world, Utopia of the Seas. One of the most anticipated dining experiences is on board this ship, and it's Royal Caribbean's brand new Royal Railway. Today, I'm going to break everything down for you. I'm going to give you a full review of the experience, let you know kind of what we thought of the show, the experience itself, and the food, as well as answer questions like, is it worth the price? What do you actually get to take home with you after this is over? And who is this experience actually for? Before we get into it, I do want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 75,000 subscribers. If you want to be a part of the first 75,000 JJ crew, hit the subscribe button, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Let's start by giving a quick overview about what this experience is. So Royal Caribbean has built 2 train cars that fit 24 people in them and have 2 shows per night. So about 48 people are experiencing this at the same time in 2 different trains twice per night. There's an early seating and a late seating, and this is a fully immersive dinner theater. You pay $74.99 per seat, and that includes a full dinner with 5 courses and a show. Before you ever step on board, the experience begins in your stateroom. I think that this is where Royal Caribbean is really trying to get the Disney magic on their ships, because if you've ever stayed at a Disney hotel or on a Disney cruise, you sometimes will get a voicemail or a phone call from Mickey himself. Well, here at the Royal Railway, you get a call to your stateroom from one of the characters from the show that leaves you a voicemail reminding you of when your reservation is.
Howdy, folks. This is your head engineer confirming your reservation for tonight on board the Royal Railway Wild West train trip.
Followed by getting physical tickets dropped off at your room that show you where your seat is on the train, as well as your name. Just like a real train, they will not seat you if the train has left the station. So you're going to want to get there about 15 to 20 minutes early, because there's a couple of things to experience as you wait for the train to arrive. Upon going in, you see a giant sign that will actually have all of the passengers' name on it. It's really fun. It kind of flips through different letters. It looks just like you're in a real train station. And then when you get to the boarding platform, you are handed a bottle of moonshine and you're told to watch out for the bandits. They direct you over to a picture of the bandit that you're supposed to be on the lookout for, because there's a couple of runaway bandits that may be boarding the train today and they need your help to capture them. Once the train pulls into the station, they will then board you and load you into the train. Since there's only 24 people in a train car, this process actually went really quick. We were in our seats within a matter of seconds of getting into the train, where you then are shown your menu as well as a map to show you where the train will be going. For this experience, this was the Wild Wild West. So we were traversing through the western deserts, going through the Rockies, seeing wildlife and all other kinds of really cool nature and scenery that you would see out west. Once you're seated, it only takes a couple of minutes for the show to begin. The conductor comes on board and everything starts to go into motion. Now, this is where you really experience this immersive dinner theater, because everything in the train car makes you feel like you are actually on a train. The seats vibrate and shake a little bit, especially when the train is starting to move. You kind of even feel that zero force gravity, like you are in an actual train moving in a certain direction. I'm not exactly sure how Royal Caribbean has done this, but it is such a phenomenal experience being on land, well, or on a ship, and actually feeling like you're in a train. It was so cool when the curtains rose on the windows and you could look outside. It looked like we had been transported to the Wild West. I'm not going to give away what the show was about or the storyline, but you definitely had multiple actors playing a few different roles, including the conductor. You had a couple of bandits that got on board the ship, and the wait staff all actually really were a part of the show as well. One of the ways that they incorporate everyone into the show that's sitting in the train car is they will come around with messenger cards or letters. They'll read them out loud and they'll have certain guests or passengers' names on them, and they're supposed to be funny or embarrassing things that had been sent to them through the Pony Express. I was the victim of getting one of these messages from a former lover who I had left and was taking the railway to get away from her. The show was cute, it was age appropriate for everyone in the audience, and I think that everyone was really having a good time around me, and it was a very, very fun experience in terms of the entertainment while you were eating your food. Speaking of food, there is a 5-course meal that is served. The 5 courses include an amuse-bouche, a bread basket, an appetizer, main course, as well as a dessert. Now they do limit this menu, so you get 1 appetizer, 1 main entree, and 1 dessert. We did talk them into letting us try another appetizer to split at our table, but technically it's supposed to be 1, 1, and 1 per person. The amuse-bouche was a really cute little cowboy hat. It was an edible cowboy hat, and it was delicious. It was a fun way to kind of start the experience, and I actually had high hopes for the food once they served this. But then it kind of went downhill with the bread basket, because the bread basket had blue cheese stuffed pretzels, as well as another type of bread that had some fruits in it that didn't really taste very good. I would say that this was kind of one of the areas that was maybe not so kid-friendly. There wasn't a lot of bread options that were regular, like sourdough bread or just normal white bread that kids might like. So we didn't care for the bread basket. For the appetizer, Jared got the fart and dart baked beans, and I got the corn chowder. Now the corn chowder was one of the better parts of my meal. I really liked the soup. The beans Jared weren't super impressed with. They also had chicken nuggets with gold flakes on top that came to the table, and we did share those. Those were okay, but Jared did find a bone in the middle of his chicken, which is a little strange for chicken tenders. The main course is where the food menu really falters. It's a little bit confusing, to be honest. Jared got a lobster salad with about 4 pieces of small lobster on it, and I got a short rib that was huge and sadly severely overcooked. We were not impressed with the main course menu at all, and neither one of us really cared for our food. Jared should have been an appetizer, to be honest. It was such a small portion, and my meal it was not very appetizing, and it didn't taste very good. The dessert came, which was really fun. It was chocolate cigars. This was recommended by our waiter, and I'm glad that we got this because it was chocolatey, it was delicious, and it was a good way to end the meal. Overall, I would say you do not go to this experience for the food of itself because the food just was not up to par with other specialty restaurants on the actual ship. And the food was a little bit more in line with what you could get in the main dining room here on Utopia of the Seas. Let's answer some of these questions. So who is this experience for? I would say in general, this experience is great for families. There were several little kids that were on the train with us at the time that we were having this experience, and they seemed to be having the time of their life. They loved interacting with the actors. They seemed to be really enjoying looking out the window to see all of the different wildlife and the mountains that we were going past. And I think for families, this is a really magical experience. This is probably as close to Royal Caribbean has gotten to a Disney experience that I've seen on one of their ships. So I think that this experience, in particular, the Wild Wild West experience, is a great one for families with all aged kids. As for Jared and I being 2 adults, we enjoyed the experience, we liked it. I wouldn't say we would do this particular experience again, but we are glad that we did it because it was something very new and innovative that we are seeing on a Royal Caribbean ship, and we're excited to see what they do with it in the future. I told Jared that there's so many things that they can do with this train car. They could do haunted train rides in Halloween. They could do the Polar Express with Santa during the Christmas season. They've already talked about doing wine tastings through Napa Valley and doing a dinner, maybe going along the Silk Road. So there are so many endless opportunities that they can do to use this railway for different guest experiences. And I am so excited to see what Royal Caribbean ends up doing in the future with their train cars. Is it worth the $74.99? I have to be honest, I think this is the highest price that it should be, but I do think that it is an appropriate price. If the food increased in terms of taste and flavor and the menu was a little bit better fleshed out, I could see myself paying up to like $120 per person for this, but at the level that the food is at right now, I would not want to pay more than $74.99 per person. So I do think the pricing is appropriate, but I do think the pricing should not go up for the Wild West experience unless the food quality and taste also increase. What do you get to take with you when you leave the train? So there really isn't any gifts or anything given outside of your train tickets, maybe a letter if you got a telegram from someone while on the train, as well as your really cute reminder that you get in your door that you have a reservation coming up with a summary of the experience that you are about to have. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting anything really more to take home with me. Some people I know asked if you got to take home any of the moonshine jugs that you got while you were on board the train, or if you got to take any part of the cutlery or the glasses. Those all have to stay there, but you do get your train tickets, and I would recommend keeping those because they are really cute and they do have your name printed on them. Overall, we did enjoy this experience despite our issues with the food. We do think that it's an experience that if you have young kids coming on board, they would also love too. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you experienced the railway yet? Based on this review, are you going to book it, or is this something you're going to say, nope, it's not for me? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Jordan, this is JJ Cruise, and until next time, see ya! JJ!